What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. We are here Tuesday, the 23rd of July, and things are spicing up. As you can see from the title, Ismaila Sarr, personal terms I agreed. We also, before going out on live, have got information about the fees involved with him and plus much more Palace News stuff. So as always, if you do enjoy the content, leave a like, subscribe as we reach 5,000 subscribers. I'm joined by T here. T, we're getting there, man. We're finally getting there. I was at Kamada and Riyadh. It's been a bit of a break as we sign another player, and it seems like we're getting closer. But how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Weird enough, just made up my own Ismaila Sarr chant, to the
Already got a chance,
to the a little bit to the tune of "Oh What a Night." Ismaila Sarr. Dun, 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 dun,
This
dun,
is funny
dun,
because
dun.
you
Ismaila
think that he
Sarr.
was you think that T was after it's like he really wanted this made Sarr based on the chance, but literally about last week he was saying,
I was tired of talking about it. Yeah,
exactly.
it was just one of
Well,
the
we're
things
still
I was
talking
just
about it.
tired of talking about. But
He hasn't
at
been announced
least,
yet. He
yeah, I
hasn't
mean,
been
at
announced
least
yet.
we're at a point where it's more real than it's ever been in any of
Yeah,
the years
it's getting
back.
real. It is getting real.
Yeah.
It is getting real. We can say with that. We can say with that. How's everyone doing in chat as well? Hopefully, you've all had a good day or having a good day, depending on where you are in the world. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we've got variety. We've got Australia. We've got America. We've got people from all ends of the world, and the UK
Love
just
it,
sit in the
love
middle.
it,
So
love it, love
some
it.
people
That
are going
means
to
the
bed. Some
palace
people are waking
is
up.
all over.
Exactly. And let's start off with the first bit of news. Of course, that is on Ismaila Sarr, who's been rumored with Palace. Things have picked up. And in fact, yesterday we actually spoke about a bid that was rejected. We didn't know the figures, but today we finally know the figures. We know, hopefully, the latest, anyways, based on all the reports. The Athletic, let's start off with their report on Ismaila Sarr, is that personal terms have been agreed with the Marseille forward, which is around 4 to 5 year deal, which is quite important. Clubs negotiating, but currently apart on valuation. This was reported in the morning. However, Fabrizio Romano have just, when I say just, around
Literally,
about half an hour ago, actually, yeah, about half an hour to an hour ago, he's reported the following, saying that Crystal Palace have offered a 14 million euros plus 1 million in add-ons to Marseille for Ismaila Sarr. Understand the deal includes a sell-on clause as well for future sales. And also, Sarr is already almost agreed on a 5 year deal. So the Athletic saying that deal has been agreed in terms of personal terms. However, Fabrizio Romano saying it is almost agreed on in terms of personal deals. But T, figures involved around 14 million euros, 12 million pounds. That's cheap, ain't it?
yeah. That's in this day and age, and with how much players are going for, that's an amazing price for a guy who's 26, has a ton of experience, a ton of upside. Um, I think that could be a great price. I think that now it just matters if they accept it or not.
Because yesterday's bid was rejected. I wonder if that is the rejected move. How much do you think Ismaila Sarr is actually worth then?
I think he's worth around what we're talking about right now. I think he went to them from Watford for only like 11 million euros.
Yeah,
So with this deal, they stand to make a profit on him.
surely I
So
think. Yeah, I
I think
think
it's
we'll
good
get.
for us. I think that's a good deal. I mean, because you're talking about in total, if he meets those add-on incentives, that's only like 12.5 million pounds total for a 26-year-old who's got a lot left, lot going for himself. So I think
Yeah,
that's a great deal for a really good piece to add to the team.
yeah. Finally, after 4 years, they'll get him. It feels like that, anyways. Maybe longer than 4 years,
Literally,
maybe 5 to 6 years. Like we've been rumored with
might
him for
be.
years, for years. And also, it shows how much we value him based on the contract length as well. T. I mean, 4 to 5 years is the reported length that Palace are willing to offer on Sarr. That is, a huge investment. I mean, in
Yeah, it's a
5 years'
good
time,
amount
we're
of
talking
time.
about 30 to 31 years old.
hmm Now, I would imagine, we'll probably look into possibly restructuring or moving him at some point during the duration of that contract time, but we'll see. You know,
Yeah. Let's see your thoughts in the comment section. If you're watching on replay, which I know a lot of you do, let us know in the comment section down below on the figures involved with Sarr. I know some of you don't want him. Some of you see him as Elise's replacement. Others saying he's not good enough. But I mean, we'll go through some of the comments and we'll talk about our opinions in terms of where we think Sarr would fit. But it seems like things are progressing, so hopefully this will be a player that we actually do sign. Unfortunately, saying it is not a bad deal. We could still buy another player. Simon's saying not too sure about Sarr. He had a good season or two at Watford, but is he Premiership class or Championship? He's
He had
26
some
years
decent
old.
seasons in the Premier League. He had some decent seasons with Watford in the Premier
Yeah,
League.
he has. As I said, I mean, it's about him being consistent, really. If he can stay consistent, then I don't think there's any problems there. And he has shown the glimpses of his potential. And maybe Oliver Glasner, based on what we've seen so far, is the right man to try and get the best out of him based on what he's done with our first already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's been rumored with him for a while. But where do you actually see him fitting?
I think it'd be along that right side, probably in that right side 10 area. I mean, which is something that he's rather familiar with. He can also play up front a little bit for you too. So he comes with a lot of positional versatility, being that he's played up front, that he's played out on the wings. He's played on both wings, left and right too. So it seems like in our system, either one of those 10 spots or the 9 spot. I know there's been a lot of conjecture about him playing wide on the right, as far as right wing back, but that's a position we've never seen him play in his career. So I don't know, but I for sure know that he could do those 10 spots in the 9 spot.
Yeah, he is versatile. Michael's saying he's versatile as well. Dougie really wanted him. And that is what it comes down to. It's not a player that's only been rumored with us for now. He's been on our radar for years and years. We are signing him on a long-term deal, probably due to his age, but also, how much the club value him in terms of the progression that he can make. And he's got good fundamentals to his game. Well, as I've said, he's got very good fundamentals to his game. He's just about getting them fundamentals and the level above it a bit more consistently. I think that is where he's lacked. We've seen glimpses of that, as some of you have said in the chat, at Watford, both Championship and Premier League. So yeah, it's just, as Alex is saying, just getting it over and done with. He's glad that the Sarr stuff is almost over. It's almost as exhausting as Gallagher or Nketiah. And look, we do have to improve the squad. We're improving the squad right now. How I view this squad is this squad good enough to achieve European spots? I think relegation shouldn't even be mentioned anymore. Yeah. Is the squad good enough to stay up? We need to be looking up, and I think the club are looking up. So, I mean, Ayew, who's turning 33 this year, I think eventually Sarr will be that Ayew replacement. I don't think this will be an Elise type of replacement. I think with Ayew's age, and I feel like Ayew's still underrated by a few. Reaching 33, and also we've known his limitations to the game. I think with Sarr, his age is on the side, his pace is on the side. He's now trying to get the best out of him. So, in terms of Elise replacement, when this is hopefully complete sooner rather than later, you still expecting another signing, right?
Yeah, I do. I mean, if you go by what we've seen as far as the reported money that we got for at least say £50 million, with this move, it could be a maximum of 12.5. So you've got around 37.5 to 38 million pounds left to spend of that Elise money. If you wanted to go for, a top end cost talent like a Emile Smith-Rowe, then that's probably the remainder of that Elise money. So you would be bringing in Elise, and you would bring in ESR and Sarr for that combined 50 million point. Or maybe you are looking at some other targets that are a little bit cheaper, and maybe now you're talking about another 2 guys that may be able to come in under that 38 million that we have left. So we're in a good spot to add more and not necessarily dive into the transfer budget that we had set aside prior to the Elise move.
Yeah, and people are saying it in the chat as well. I'll bring up a comment from Patrick saying he's more of a right wing back cover. And I mean,
we don't know. We don't know. He's never done that. You know what I mean?
We don't know. The only thing is, I don't think he's an Elise replacement. I think we still sign another player there. So the two positions that I'm looking at is right wing back, yes, but it's a similar situation of with Ayew that he hasn't played there, so we don't even know if Glasner would want to play him there.
Right,
And
right.
two, potentially an option up front. Could this actually open the door for Edouard to leave, or do we go and get another striker? Because he could technically still play up front as well, T.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
Edouard's been moving away.
we now have two guys in the fold that have experience with playing up front, and that's Daichi Kamada and well, potentially Sarr. I don't want to put the horse before the cart. Cart before the horse. So Sarr and Kamada have experience with playing up front too. So in a pinch, in a bind, or however they see it, you have two guys that have experience with being in that uh, in that position, which works out well for us. I don't think he's necessarily the quote unquote Elise replacement either, because I don't know if a 26-year-old bargain buy would qualify as a true Elise replacement. What it could do is allow us to have talented, experienced players in those positions while you bring in the true Elise replacement, who at this time may not be ready made to step in.
Yeah. And look, I think with Sarr, maybe preseason we'll be able to see where exactly he plays, and get a bit more of a understanding of exactly how Glasner wants to use him. But we will sign another player. We will sign another player. And look, there isn't anything as one position anymore. A lot of these players are versatile. You can have Kamada, who even plays in centre mid, who plays as a number 10. So, I mean, with Kamada, for me anyways, I think it's a bit easier to tell where he's going to be playing based on where he's played in the past. And Elise leaving, I think he's going to be playing as a number 10 role. But there's a lot of players that can, play in multiple positions. And ideally, you do want that because, we haven't got the money to spend on each individual position. And, £12 million. What's with £12 million? That's absolutely nothing.
Nothing,
That is money that,
nothing in today's money. You got championship teams spending that type
and
of
it's the
money.
younger player in terms of the depth of the squad, because I think he'll be more of a depth player, and hopefully he does push. Let's say if he's right wing back depth option, hopefully he does push Munoz. If he's a strike option, hopefully he pushes Mateta and Edouard. Like, we need that new fresh blood in the team where they can come in and they can cause problems and say, I want that spot. Like, that's what you want, because what we've lacked in previous seasons is that we've had numbers there for numbers' sake. But Ismaila Sarr, I believe that he's got the potential to actually push some of these players. He's not there just to add up numbers. And that is the key signing. Even with Riyadh, that's another thing. He's a centre-back option, and you might say he's fourth choice or fifth choice or third choice, whatever you think of him. But what we all can agree on is that he's got the quality to push these players, and that is what it's all about. And that is what the club are trying to do this summer. Because I think when you look at starting 11, we are not that. I mean, this starting 11 could reach European spots. I don't think that's crazy to say that. There are some very good players there, but it's about that depth option, and that is where we've lacked in the past. TB, we'll answer your question at the end. But if you have any question, by the way, put a Q in the dot before it, and we'll answer towards the end of the show, because we have got other news today to talk about as well. Rohan saying the club has said that the player we get to replace Elise potentially can be better than him. I don't know who. I don't know how you're going to replace Elise with someone who's maybe potentially better than him, but it's going to be very hard. I rate Elise highly. I don't think we can genuinely replace Elise as it is. I think we just have to develop a player, and hopefully he reaches the levels of Elise at Palace as well.
I'm sure a lot of people said the same thing about Wilfried Zaha when we lost him too.
Yeah, but then I think with Elise and Eze being there, a lot of people weren't worried afterwards when Wilf actually left the club, because at least we got Eze and Elise to carry the thing. Now it's like Eze's there, Kamada's there, but Kamada's a bit more of an experienced player. It's like we need another youngster to kind of give that hope, maybe, as like an Elise replacement. Edson, I know Sarr has played right wing back at both Marseille and Watford a handful of times, so I'm not ruling it out. Could be using Sarr like Frimpong at Leverkusen, who's technically right wing back, but basically plays right winger. I mean, even when you look at Munoz, I think Munoz can play. We say right wing back, but he's up and down the pitch majority of the time. I don't know if he's played right wing back at Watford and Marseille.
I don't think he's ever played right wing back.
I don't think he's exactly. but he has played down the right hand side, and
I think he's played right midfield is as close as we've come. I think he's made 2 appearances in his career at right midfield and 2 appearances at left midfield.
Yeah.
I would imagine that was probably in a 4-4-2 more than a 3 at the back, where he's truly like a wing back though.
Yeah. Look, let's see. We're progressing well. Yesterday it was a bit of a negative news that the first bid got rejected. Today it's personal terms agreed, and finally we have the fees involved, around 14 million euros, 12 million pounds. Let's see if that gets accepted. But it seems like things, as we reported a few days ago, things are going in the right direction with Sarr. But it doesn't end there. Let's move on to the next bit of player, and that is on Jezren Rak-Sakyi, who's been rumored with a move away from the club. And it's not stopping. These rumors are not finishing. Even though Palace do want to send him out on loan, Sky Sports have reported the following, that Rak-Sakyi talks are still ongoing. Southampton are still in talks with Palace for Rak-Sakyi. So they're not giving up. The Saints are prepared to increase purchase option on an initial loan. Player keen to join, plus play for Russell Martin. I think that last part, T, is the biggest thing about this Rak-Sakyi thing. Player keen to join and play for Russell Martin. Is Rak-Sakyi's head being turned now?
I mean, I don't know. I think that statement can be a little bit omnipotent. It can mean different things. He could be.
But do you understand why he would be keen to join Southampton?
Yeah, I think he'd be keen because, number one, he'd be getting to play Premier League football, and he probably will be getting to play a significant amount of Premier League football. So it makes sense, I think, why he would want to play for him. Now, saying you want to play for a coach doesn't necessarily mean you want to be fully transferred to a team.
Yeah, but he said, hey, keen to join. That's what the report says.
Join. I mean, he could join on loan. You know what I'm saying? That's what's loaded about it. Like, he's not saying he wants to go permanently necessarily. He's just saying he wants to have the opportunity to go and play for them.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. But I'll be honest, if you want my honest opinion, I think of course, I'm just interpreting it, but when it says player keen to join and play for Russell Martin, of course, as you said, that could be a loan move because he still goes out on loan and plays for Southampton. But I think the Russell Martin part, they must have had conversation. They must have given him assurances. I don't think, personally, in my opinion, I don't think he's keen to join them out on loan at this point anymore. I think we've gone past that stage. I think he's keen to join them on a permanent deal. He's not.
I mean, the thing about it is, like, would you be so keen if there's the threat that he could end up being in the championship next year?
He could be, but maybe he just wants assurances that he's going to play, whether that's in the championship or the Premier League. I mean, look, I've said that as well. 15 to 20 million pounds and conversations can be had. But ideally, I'll be honest, it's not a good look, this Rak-Sakyi situation on the club. And the reason why I'm saying that is maybe you could say that Rak-Sakyi is not ready for first team level right now in the Premier League. But when we talk about academy and a pathway to first team football, when you take a step back and look at the situation, we need a player literally where Rak-Sakyi plays. We lost Elisa. We're targeting a player on that side. If it's not now, then when will Rak-Sakyi get that opportunity? I mean, this is the perfect opportunity for him to be that second spot or behind Kamada. You won't have to spend that much money. And some people may say he's not good enough or whatever. People have their reasons. But overall, as a football club, this is the time to give him the opportunity. And if we're not giving it at this current moment of time, T, what type of message does that send to the rest of the academy players? Patrick said it in our private chat. I mean, how many academy players? I mean, we talk about academy, and I think our academy has been good in the past, but it hasn't been excellent in terms of producing first team level footballers. The amount of footballers. I mean, we produced some good ones. Zaha, of course, Wan-Bissaka most recently, and I mean,
I don't know if you can include Jake O'Brien. I mean, he came in to our academy.
Yeah, but then still, he's become successful after leaving Palace. And I mean, when we talk about pathway to the first team, right now it's looking like with even the O'Brien situation, he's gone and joined the team over in France, and now the interest is going up. It seems like the grass is greener on the other side. Am I being too unfair on the club at the situation?
No, I don't think you're being unfair because I don't think you're being unfair because we've seen a lot. Like this just isn't a Crystal Palace thing. let's just say this. We're seeing it across the league where a lot of young players are leaving these teams to go and find opportunities elsewhere, even if it means completely leaving England and going internationally to sides that may not be as big or as popular because they want the opportunity to play first team football at a high level. You know what I mean? Like we were sitting there being tied with a kid like Archie Brown, who started off at Derby, and then just said, "Forget English football. I'm gonna go to Belgium and make it work." And now we're sitting here talking about him possibly coming back into the Premier League. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a thing. We're seeing it, and players want their opportunities. They want to play first team football. They want to get there early in their careers. They don't want to wait to their mid-20s. You know what I mean? So I see it. And
And
it's definitely a real thing.
And I think with this particular situation, I think where the club looks a bit bad is that Southampton are now a Premier League club. They've been promoted. They're saying we're willing to sign you on a permanent deal so you can play for us in the Premier League. So basically, what Southampton are saying is that you're
ready for the Premier League.
Yep. And Palace are saying that you're not. And I think that could turn heads. That could make Rak-Sakyi think. And that
makes them say they believe it. They believe in me.
Yeah, even though in the Sky Sports report, it doesn't say if he's keen to join a permanent or loan deal. I think when you put all the context together, I think we're talking more of a permanent move rather than a loan move. Rak-Sakyi wants to join there permanently, and he wants to play for Russell Martin because they must have had conversations. And I think that is where things get a bit more difficult because I understand what the club are trying to do: loan him out for another season and then develop him. Hopefully, his price goes up as well, and he gets a bit more experience. Then come back next season, reevaluate. But at this current moment of time, we need a player where Rak-Sakyi plays. And another Premier League club is saying, we will have Rak-Sakyi. So what does that say about how we view him in this time? I think it's a bit awkward now. I think the situation is getting a bit awkward. It will be, honestly, I'm not even saying it for the sake of it. It's going to be interesting to see where he ends up because Palace do want to send him out on loan. But if Rak-Sakyi wants to leave, do Palace end up selling him? Because Sky are reporting that there's going to be an increased offer. Yesterday, we spoke about a £12 million bid. If Southampton really want him, could they bid 15, 20 and get Rak-Sakyi? I don't know. TV saying the club seems scared to not use it. Spiritual saying it's not that Palace Academy is bad. We just don't give our youth players chances. Twister saying disagree. Jez might be good enough for Southampton, not us. But then again, we're not even saying Jez is going to be a starter at Palace. If Jez is not good enough to be a backup option to Kamada, I don't know. Southampton is saying that he's good enough. So if we think that, then Jez is going to say, all right, then Palace, I'll go. I'll go to a club where, they're going to give me more opportunities, even in the Premier League. Even if they get relegated, they believe me that I'm a Premier League player. So, it gets a bit awkward. Martin's saying, Yamal at 16 has sent out the message to all academy players. Jake's talking about Sarr is not that impressed. Jess should be utilized by the season. I'm hoping Glasner looking at him and the rumors are rubbish. I don't think the rumors are rubbish. I think you can have one report and then it might be rubbish, but then this has been going on this past week, and it's continuing. In fact, things are getting a bit more serious by the reports as well. So I don't think it's rubbish. So yeah, let's see. Mitch saying the optimistic case is that we're going for top 10 and Southampton are going for top 17. Despite that, Jez looks at a situation of, maybe the players can look at the situation as well, saying, Southampton are fine relegation, Palace go for top 10. But end of the day, for the player, I'm playing in the Premier League. That's the biggest thing. We don't know. We don't know what kind of season Southampton are going to have. Players don't think like fans. Of course, they might think about relegation and all of that. But ideally, you think that you got the ability to go to Southampton and keep them up in the Premier League.
He's young enough. He's young enough to where winning isn't going to be the paramount piece to him.
Of course, he wants to stay in the Premier League, but
playing is what really matters the most for him right now.
Yeah, he probably thinks that Southampton could stay up in the Premier League. You have to have that faith as a footballer that I can join Southampton and I can score the goals and get the assists to keep them up. Naturally, I don't know if that will be the case, but yeah, Colin saying Glasner has really upped the levels in the club. Now maybe just hasn't or isn't up to reaching them just yet. Could be. Looks like we're becoming the selling club that I thought was in the past. Very disappointed. We haven't sold him yet. Listen to what Michael's saying as well, people. If you're enjoying it, like and subscribe to not miss out future Palace content. We're close to 5,000 subscribers. So thank you to every single one of you that's done that already. But I don't think we've become a selling club just yet.
And we've only sold one player.
But I think we will eventually. We'll at least say.
I mean, but selling players is a part of the game. Like that's that's part of football, though. You have to sell guys. You know what I mean? So
I think that's the model. I think that was always the case. I mean, with Gay, maybe not this window. Another window, he'll end up leaving. Eze will end up leaving. It's about finding the replacements and reinvesting that money and just building up, and trying to push up the table. Jake saying we have to be a selling club to keep improving. Only 5 to 7 teams don't have to sell to invest, and I think that is the point. And Brighton, for example, they always end up selling, but they find replacements, and I think it's going to be the same with us. It's just a matter of who do you find the best. Let's move on to the final bit of rumor today. This actually came out yesterday after we ended the stream, but that was on Trevor Chalobah, who has been linked with a move to Palace after he was left out of Chelsea's pre-season tour of the USA, which is a surprise. They've kind of done him dirty. The defender is one of the players Chelsea are willing to sell this summer and has interest from Palace. That is according to Talk Sport. But just my quick thoughts. I don't see anything like this happening unless Gay left as a potential Gay replacement.
Because he'll be expensive. I think he'll probably be at the minimum he'll be 25 million, probably 20 to 25 million. So he'll be expensive. And we don't have a need for him at this point. You know what I mean? If we lose Gay, then yes, the conversation then comes into play about bringing him in. But I think now that I think a lot of the Chalobah talk was happening prior to us bringing in Chadi. So it makes sense why that was part of the talk. But now that we have Chadi Riyad in place, the need just simply isn't there. I mean, it sucks that his situation is what it is. Got to feel for the guy, but he made the distinct choice to stay and fight for his place at Chelsea. Obviously, that fight is not going too well.
I think that fight is ended at this point. I don't think there's a fight anymore. I think he's staying at home. Which they've done him dirty. But yeah, so I don't really look into this report saying, oh, we're signing another centre half. I think the best case scenario is if Gay was to leave, then maybe he could be an option to replace him. But yeah, we're not spending money on any more centre backs. We're sorted in that area.
Oh, indeed, really quickly, I did find Sarr's one appearance at right wing back.
Oh, did he actually play for Marseille?
It came for Senegal.
Oh, is it?
Senegal played in a 3 at the back, and he played on the right-hand side at wing back, and he actually scored.
It's going to be like Munoz.
Yeah.
But
all the other ones
even with Ayew, we speak about Ayew potentially as a right wing back, but how many times have we seen him play there? We're just basically talking based on strengths and weaknesses. So he could be an option there. And we do need options there. If it's not Sarr, if we don't see Sarr as a serious option at right wing back, we need to buy someone else. Because I literally went through this for about 3 to 4 years before we got Munoz talking about right back. And I'm not going to go through this again, talking about the right-hand side. Munoz is a very good player, but we don't have depth. Klein and Wood, with all due respect, they're not wing backs. They are not wing backs, and that system will struggle with them there. I think there's massive limitations to the game going forward. So for me, we do need the option there. But hopefully that option is Sarr, and he can play both up front as a wing back as well, which is very all over the place. But I'll take it. That's the type of versatility that you want in the squad. Look, people, we're gonna go through some of the questions. If you're enjoying the stream right now, hit the like button, subscribe as well if you haven't already done so. Thank you to every single one of you that sent in your questions. If you have any questions, we'll put a Q and a dot before it, just like Trundle has, and we'll go through them and answer it before we wrap up the show. Trundle saying, what's up with Eze to Liverpool? Saw a few articles about that on the same day as the City ones. Nothing really. There's nothing about it. In fact, with the City one, there's an update in terms of City are not looking to sell Kevin De Bruyne. I think Pep Guardiola has actually come out and said that. So Eze to City, the only way I can see it happening, I don't see it happening at this point. The only way they could end up buying him is if they want to get him for the future, build him on for a year before De Bruyne actually ends up leaving. But they haven't put any bid. Even when the report came out, they didn't put any bid. So I don't really see that happening. Palace 1439 saying, any news on Smith Rowe or Sessegnon? No other updates. The latest on Emil Smith Rowe was that Arteta wants to keep him at Arsenal. He was a captain in preseason. He scored a goal in a preseason game as well. And it's gone quiet after that, which I don't know what they're really playing at. And Sessegnon
out. And Sessegnon is still training and playing with the first team. And I would be highly surprised if we didn't see Sessegnon on was it Saturday against Crawley.
Yeah, I got cursed.
He said, and Sessegnon
mentioned Sessegnon or Emil Smith Rowe 3 times. I know we're here. It's the ghost of Sessegnon that keep me out. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with that because he's been training at the club for nearly a month now. So I mean, are we going to sign him or we're not? God knows. But we should.
I feel like he would have been. I mean, he's played in 2 closed doors matches. He's played against Charlton. Now he's going to play this weekend. I don't think you'd be holding on to a guy this long if you weren't planning on offering.
Yeah. But I don't know why we haven't announced him. Is he getting? Do you get paid in trials? I don't even know.
But here's the thing: Palace does this kind of stuff all the time. Like we had. Do you remember how long we had Klein in training before we announced that he had a deal? We had Nathaniel Klein in training
during the season, wasn't it?
I believe it happened like right at the beginning of the season. Yeah, but he was in training with us for months and already had a contract, and then they went ahead and announced it. So it's one of those things that if he's already, like, not saying he has, but if he's already signed something, they probably don't even feel pressed to announce it. Like,
well, why wouldn't they?
I don't know. I mean, why did it take so long with Nathaniel Klein? I don't know. Maybe they're just, I don't know. Maybe they're just
Klein is different to Sessegnon, maybe. But technically, they're both in the same position. But Sessegnon, he's aged on the side. I don't know. There's a bit more hype about him to announce, man. They know that everyone is waiting for that announcement as well. Like, we watching the game and the club's feed is like, what? As soon as they say Sessegnon, they're like, whoops, oh, didn't mean to say that. Like, they're trying to avoid it by all means. I don't know if there's like a legalities around that, but as you said to you, I think the positive around this is that the fact that he's still training, he's still with the football club. Surely that's good. Like, it seems like it's more likely to happen than not, because he would have stopped buying now. Twist is saying, would you be happy if we consolidate 10th place? I guess with a good cup run, it's not the worst thing in the world. Just maintaining that 10th spot, top 10.
Yeah.
Oh, for UT, early predictions.
I think there are things. I think there are things that kind of factor into that. You know, if we get 10th place, similar to how we did this year, we have some pretty serious struggles, and then we end up pulling it together. You know, it's very much kind of the same. Kind of meh, but like you said, if we get 10th place and we get a cup run or cup finals, those types of things, those are types of things that add on to it that I think I would be good with.
It's just about a cup run. I really want a good cup run next season, but we'll do a season preview. Don't worry about that when the time is right. We still let the American tour finish, and then we'll do all of that. TV saying, where and how do you think we should invest Elise money? I think we should invest it on literally the position that Elise left, which is that down that right hand side as a number 10. And I think we will. It's just a matter of who, because it's gone quiet. Maybe you just focus on Sarr right now, trying to get that out of the way. And then afterwards, the Elise stuff might pick up once again, because it seems like Sarr is getting closer and closer. So hopefully this week we can conclude that deal and then find this Elise replacement before we go out on tour to the US. Twist is saying, are we saying that inexperienced Jez costs the same as Sarr? It doesn't make sense.
It does make sense because Jez is 21 years old.
Yeah, it's about the potential.
Yeah, it's about this. So one guy is proven, one guy has potential, and it's definitely a balance, a sliding scale. between the two.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And also, Jez's price tag is not high as well. Like,
And,
there's
and
no
best
more
believe if Jez was this same age and he had more Premier League experience, he would be way more than
if he
Sarr is right
matched
now.
that levels that we know he
Yeah,
could. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Like the only reason why they're close in price right now is because Jez hasn't proven at the Premier League level yet. Once he gets that experience and proves that he can do it, it automatically goes up. And that's something that's probably that Southampton's probably trying to count on and trying to get him. It's like, yeah, buy him now for 12 million. He comes in, gets experience, plays really well, and now his value is double, if not triple, what he came in for.
Why are people talking about sausages and fish fingers in the chat? I feel
I
like
have
there's like
no idea,
three.
bro.
I feel like there's
Sausage,
like
chips, and beans, bro. I
I
have
feel like
no
there's like
idea.
three different conversations. There's like a Palace
Fish
conversation.
finger sarnies? I
Yeah.
don't even know what that is, bro.
There's
I'm
a Palace
sorry.
conversation. There's like a dinner conversation. I don't know what is going on in this
We
chat,
got a
but
lot of hungry
again,
dudes on here, I guess.
we're queuing a double for it. I'm just saying, love the stream. Thank you. Do you know when the yellow away shirts will go on sale? Not too sure. Are they not out on sale yet on the club site?
I won't be buying one, so no idea.
So they're probably up for sale, no? They should be up for sale.
Last time I checked their work, because I was checking to see if the home ones, if they've gotten the women's one up. They still haven't got the women's home ones on sale yet either.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm not too sure. Ash, question saying, assuming everyone currently in the squad plus size fit and available for our opening game versus Brentford, who is our starting 11? I think that's pretty Munoz, Richards, Anderson, Gahey, Mitchell, Henderson in goal, Walton, Decore midfield, left-hand side Eze, right-hand side Kamada, up front Mateta. I think it's that simple.
No. I mean,
Yes.
do you think Mateta will make the opening?
Sorry, so Mateta, yeah. Well, it'll be Edward.
If this said like current squad, everybody's there.
Yeah, it'll be Edward. I don't think it's complicated to predict our starting 11 already. I think our starting 11 is pretty obvious at this stage. I'll be surprised if it's not that. Benteke is a goat. Says, who do you think? What do you think the club's plan is going forward in terms of what? The club's plan going forward is building that new stand, which hopefully will be done before 2030. That's my goal at this moment. And to become a top 10 club and push for European spots. I think that is the aim. What do you think, T?
Same thing. Pushing for Europe.
Top 10 and Europe,
building that
stands. Win a trophy.
Yeah, competing in the cups, possibly winning the trophy there, possibly getting Europe via that route. Like, I think that's the plan right now. And building depth, quality depth.
I wonder what's happening with tech stuff. In terms of, he wanted to sell his shares. We thought that we'd find out more about it in July, but it's gone very quiet now. I wonder, does he still want to do it? Because he was interested in Everton, then he pulled out of Everton. What is actually going on with that situation? I wonder.
Yeah, sounds like John just might be chilling and what you can do, so he might just be chilling.
Yeah. Any news on goalkeeping situation? I can't see us starting with two number ones. I don't as well. But there's no news. There's no news. Johnston's played against Charlton, and it's just.
And then there's just that one link with Nottingham. I haven't seen anything since.
Yeah. Well, look, people, we're gonna wrap up now. We've covered enough. If you just joined us now, make sure to go to the start of the stream where we talk about 3 different rumors. Of course, Sarr is on the agenda, including the fees as well that we mentioned. If you have enjoyed this, like, subscribe. We'll be here most likely tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed, things progressing even further than they do today with Sarr. So that is concluded. If you have enjoyed it, let us know also, most importantly, your thoughts in the conversation down below. That's the most important things as well.
For sure.
That's it from me and T. And until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.